everybody. This is Ray Pohl, and I'm going to read my script here. Good afternoon. For the record, this is Ray Pohl, Chairman of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Let's confirm that the following members are present. When I call your names, members, could you please respond in the affirmative? Diane Coombs.
Aye.
Thank you, Diane. John McLaughlin.
Aye.
Thank you, John. Val. Oliver.
Aye.
Abby Camp.
Aye.
And this is Ray Pohl for the record. Aye. And how about staff when I call your names? Kathy Flynn.
Present.
Thank you. Holly Backus.
I'm present.
All right, very good. This open meeting of the Nantucket Historic District Commission is being conducted remotely, all tell, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020. That order, posted with agenda materials for this meeting, allows public bodies to convene remotely, so long as public access to deliberations is reasonably provided. This meeting is convening via Zoom with video and audio recording, and we are being broadcast via YouTube on the town's channel. With no member of the public having asked to speak at this time, this particular meeting will not feature public comment. Materials provided to the members of this meeting or during this meeting are, unless otherwise noted, available on our town's website. During the meeting, I will introduce agenda topics and speakers, and I hope you all could remember to mute your Zoom audio until your name is called. And please direct comments and questions through the chair to avoid crosstalk and making the taking of minutes easier. And finally, votes taken at today's meeting will be done via roll call, as they have been for quite a few months now. Okay, so with that said, could I have a motion to approve today's agenda, please?
So move.
Thank you, Diane Coombs. On Diane's motion, John McLaughlin.
Aye.
Thank you, Val.
Aye.
Abby.
Aye.
Diane.
Aye.
And I'm in favor of that motion carries. So we'll move directly to, oh, well, I should ask first, as I always do. Do we have anything, any public comment that has been posted on via email or anything like that I should know about? Kathy?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, good enough. One consent item. Motion on that one?
Motion to approve the consent item.
Thanks, Val. On Val's motion, Abby,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Consent with conditions, one item there. How come Linda gets all these consent things and I don't?
Make a
Yes, I
motion.
You do. You
I know
do.
how to play that game.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Diane has made a motion to approve Linda's consent with conditions. On Diane's motion, John,
Aye.
thank you. Val,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I am in favor.
Thank
Okay,
you for those.
all right. So now we have two lingering old business items. I believe I saw Matt in the queue there. Matt, you ready?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay, great. Better reception this time, right?
Yeah,
Matt?
I'm so sorry. I actually checked I checked the connection, and then right when the meeting started, it was terrible. So I apologize.
Yeah, that happened to me when I was down in Florida. It wasn't apparent until halfway through the meeting. It's like, oh my gosh, it's me.
Yeah.
Okay, so 14 Lowell, as we can all tell from the agenda, I'm on this. We have two 14 Lowells under old business. Same board on both. Now I'm looking here, and Matt, we may have a little bit of an issue unless Stephen has joined us.
I thought I saw Stephen here.
Yep,
Was that a yes?
that's a yes.
Oh, great. Hi, Stephen.
Hello.
Okay, I was about to give Matt some bad news that he would be down to 3 people, but welcome. And so for the record, Stephen Welsh is with us, and he is sitting on these next 2 applications in addition to Val, Diane, and myself. So let's go. Matt.
Great. So I'll just jump right into it, Mr. Chair. So the last meeting, we made some massing changes. I think that the some of the feedback was that the trim detail was still very severe, so we edited that. Now, again, this was a meeting where we had basically a day to turn the drawings around, so we made basically this trim detail change. So as you recall, we also dropped the height of the building, changed the pitch. And so we've basically got a 1x6 rake board with a gutter return on it. Since so much time has elapsed since when this was submitted and when we're being heard now, we actually submitted a supplemental option that even though the board hadn't discussed it specifically, we wanted to present some additional ideas that may address some of the other issues. I think that they're at the end of this sheet set. And it's basically adding a porch along the front of the building and a pent roof above the garage itself. Huh.
Okay, so that's not this, right?
Yeah, I don't see it. I think we submitted it as a supplemental material. Let's see if it's somewhere at the bottom. No. Okay. All right. Well,
Matt,
Mr. Chair, through you, Matt, did you send a separate PDF?
I think it was a separate PDF. Yeah.
Okay. I don't have access to it right now.
Okay. Well, anyways, I could still get comments back from the board, but again, it was just another step based on the comments that some of the board members had about the facade of the structure. And so adding a front porch on the main mass with, columns, and then a pent roof on the garage, and it just kind of dropped the scale a little bit. That was a previous submission that we're looking at right now.
right.
And that's the proposed. So.
Hey, Matt. It's
Yep.
doubled and you mentioned it, but I want to make sure that, so did you drop the pitch of this roof?
We did. We changed the pitch.
That was for this submission.
I believe that was part of this submission. Yeah.
Okay, and so how much did the roof go down? Reduce roof pitch?
I think from the original submission, I want to say it was at least 18 inches, somewhere in that range. So I think this most recent pitch change was somewhat minor, but it was more about the rake detail primarily. We did drop it. I think it was, I think the most significant drop was the previous iteration.
Oh, so this isn't the first time that you dropped the roof?
Correct.
Okay.
So what's it down to now?
I can tell you.
Can we zoom in on that, Holly?
I actually bought a magnifying glass for my smaller prints.
Yeah.
Pretty embarrassing.
Holly, if we, yeah.
26.
It's actually me.
It's actually Kathy running the show.
Oh, Kathy, yeah.
It's 2610.
2610, 27 feet. Okay.
And Mr. Chair, if I may, I do have HSAB comments from December 14th. So they're based on these revisions.
Okay.
Same concerns as is in the beginning. This building is in the position of a second dwelling where it should be in a smaller scale to the main house of a similar style. This house does not relate to any of the existing houses on Lowell Place, nor to houses on Barnabas or Woodbury Lane. It's too tall and massing is inappropriate for the neighborhood. We completely agree with the comments submitted by the abutting neighbors from Barnabas and Woodbury Lanes. I believe Kathy has a copy of those that were sent out to the commission. We did receive additional letters from direct abutters. It should be in the file. I do not have it in front of me to read into the record, but there were concerns on the scale and massing of the structure. The changes are not that significant, and there needs to be more work based on the location. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Those are the comments.
Okay. Thank you, Holly.
Mr. Chair.
Could I begin?
Well, I just
Hold
wanted,
on,
if I
Matt,
could,
what?
just really briefly, I just hope I get a chance to respond to some of the comments after the board's comments and at HSAB if I could.
You mean respond to HSAB comments?
HSAB comments and the board's comments.
You mean the ones we're about to make?
Yes.
Yeah.
Along with the HSAB too.
All right, well, let's see how it goes. Diane, go ahead.
Okay. My viewer went out. I've got pictures. I
Uh-oh.
just don't know how to transfer them onto the thing. This Lowell Place is a little street with little bungalow type story and a half houses. This is a back house. It is absolutely between 12 and 14 open to view. The tree that was cut down that was supposed to be rotten, although the slice of wood that they sliced and tipped up against number 12 showed no rotten spots on it, is gone. It is open to view. This house is not in keeping with anything around it, whether it's, I appreciate it's come down to 26 feet, but I do not appreciate the design of the house. It is not in keeping when you have an area, and I said this before, and I hope it's right, because it says that if you have an area that has a feeling to it, that we, the HDC, should try to keep it so it keeps tourism and whatever else they said was most prevalent and most important. This house would be great somewhere else. At 26 feet is great, but it is a 2-story house. And there are no other 2-story houses. They're all little, 10, 12, and beyond. And that's the picture you get of Lowell Place. It needs to stay that way. You give one house a big idea to go, and the next guy comes in and says, well, the house right next door to me is a 2-story house, so why can't I be? And it goes around and it completely destroys the neighborhood that we are committed to maintaining. So I just would like to see it go back and be redesigned with that in mind. Not that it isn't a great house, but not here.
Okay, thank you, Diane. Stephen, are you ready?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. So, Matt, I do appreciate the changes. I think it does start to make some fundamental. Sorry, let me refocus here. I've got two things on my screen here. I want to go. You guys have got the west elevation up.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Sorry, Mr. Chair, I wasn't quite as ready as I'd hoped I was. I think, Matt, overall, the broader statement is I think it is large for the context and proximity to the setbacks. And I think that I am probably going to be the lighter one on those topics along the lines of things Diane has said. I would like to see, in addition to whatever revisions come forth on the window schedule, let's get some dimensions, please, on those units. I note the doors have them. And then the other thing, just for the sake of clarity going forward, it looks like maybe your CAD PDF driver is, I see there's a text, a graphical issue with the north elevation and some of the other elevations rendering the shingles. But in both the north elevation previous submission and the north elevation proposed, it's showing a grid pattern on the 1.5, 1 3/4 story structure.
Yep.
And it would be good to have that eliminated. It's confusing to the eye as much as anything else. Can we, who's running the show on the controls?
Kathy is.
I am. What do you need?
Can you go to north, please?
Sorry.
This is the supplemental that we just sent.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
if
My
I could,
first time.
if I could answer that,
Back
Mr.
to-
Chair, through you, there's no, that's actually not a graphic error. That's basically a lattice work that we're looking to add to that side of the building for some.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Okay, so I'm glad I mentioned it. I'm not so sure about that. I think I would want to. I would prefer personally to see a more larger scale, like a 1/2-inch drawing of that facade, showing that detail, showing more detail. So a blow up of that.
Stephen?
We lose him.
Maybe he was fritzing out. Let's see if he comes back.
I-
Val.
I agree with HSAB and my cohorts. It's been lowered in height, but the scale is still so massive. It's 90 feet long. I couldn't find another house in the area remotely close to that. And I think that, by and large, our comments every week have been of a more major concern. And these are small incremental changes. While they're appreciated, I think fundamentally the building needs to perhaps be rethought, with regard to the massing and scale. And I was looking through our little book, Building with Nantucket in Mind, and there's a statement that says, when property owners build with only their concern and aspirations for their aspirations and advantage, the result of the structure does not belong in this environment and diminishes the attractiveness and unity of the island. And I think the architectural language in this area is not at all the same. So it doesn't relate to what's around it. And I guess I'm just disappointed that we can't come to some sort of a more in the middle solution, so that it does fit in and harmonize with what's around it.
Okay, Val, thank you. Let's see, is Stephen back? I want to make sure that he concluded comments.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah, I think just I don't disagree with the other comments, and I'd ask that the drawings be cleaned up so that when they're viewed in Zoom and on our computers, we can see that north elevation better. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Stephen. So, Matt, for me, it's interesting because the east elevation, the front, is fairly benign, but then when we get to the north elevation, that the sort of scale of this thing is more apparent, and it's a very long. So it's not a 2-story building. It's not a 1.5-story building. I think that Stephen earlier referred to it as 1 3/4 because the plate is not down low enough for it to be 1.5 stories. It's not a full 2-story plate, but so it's still large. And the other thing that I noticed, got to say, I like the whole concept of the cottage corners and the really very reduced window casings and so forth, and very, very small rakes. But I think that those little details are making this appear larger because they're so tiny. And if you had like normal corner boards on there and a normal rake and a normal casing around the windows, I have a feeling that the scale of this building the perception of it might actually go down. That's just, for what it's worth. Now, I did say that you could respond, so go ahead.
Thank you, Mr.
Can
Chair.
I just say, before he responds, can I just read you something, please?
Yeah,
Then
go
you-
ahead, Diane.
All right. On the thing where it says Nantucket Historic District Commission background summary and mission. To effect these protections, the HDC's mission, its charge, is to promote the general welfare of the inhabitants of the town of Nantucket through the preservation and protection of historic buildings, places, and districts of historic interest through the development of appropriate settings for these buildings, places, and districts, and through the benefits resulting to the economy of Nantucket in developing and maintaining its vacation travel industry through the promotion of these historic associations. In these matters, the HDC is the sole adjudicatory authority.
Point of order, Mr. Chairman. What is that being read from? What document is that?
That's the preface to the a
Is that
building. with
the building with
Nantucket.
Nantucket in mind?
It's the enabler.
Background summary and mission, the Historic
Yeah.
District Commission, background summary and commission. It starts off Nantucket with its sister island, Tuckanut Muskegon, is a historic district designated as a historic landmark, listed in the National and State
What
Register.
document is that from, Mr.
Why
Chairman?
are you busting in, Linda?
I don't, she didn't have to read the whole thing again. I just wanted to know what that was from.
It's from the act.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just so you know, it's from the act.
It's like
Yeah.
Appendix 1 in the back of building with Nantucket in mind.
Yeah, I thought it was in building with Nantucket in mind.
Go ahead, Diane.
No, I just,
Okay.
that's what it is. And when you say, I don't know, but on the elevation I don't have with all the gables facing this way, it's a window up on the 3rd floor. I don't know how you could say it's a story and a half building. I can't get that.
Well, you mean me or
elevation.
Matt?
Beg pardon?
Did you mean me or Matt saying that?
No, I don't know that you said it. I think Steve said it.
Well, Steve actually said story and 3/4, which I would agree with. And the reason why is because if you look at this north elevation, the window head heights on those eave end windows is definitely less than 6'8". It's probably what, Matt? Maybe 6 feet, maybe less.
On the eave side, yeah, it's around 6 feet. Yes.
No, I'm sorry, not the east, the north side. The eave.
The eve is 6 feet, somewhere in that range, maybe even less.
Can he go to the east side? I tried to find that particular.
Yeah. So, yeah, okay. Well,
That's
okay.
it.
There's the chimney and the window behind the chimney where it keeps moving.
Right.
So that is not, to me, a story and a half building. The windows on the 2nd floor are the same size, almost the same size as the 1st floor, and then you got a window up in the peak. When you look at that, you don't think of a bungalow.
Who said it has to be a bungalow? I mean,
Because that's what the houses are on Lowell Place. Most of them are bungalow size.
Well,
Can I respond, Mr. Chair?
Yep.
I want to make sure that Diane's finished because
I'm finished. I'm finished. I
Okay.
just,
Thank you, Diane. So, okay, Matt, go ahead.
Just a couple things. I mean, I appreciate Diane reading that. I mean, I'm familiar with that. I'm sure you're all familiar with it, but I'm well aware of it. And I think that the structure, I just feel like the amount of attention that this structure is getting and the feeling I get from some of the board members is there's like an animosity towards it. And I'm so sorry that you all feel that way, but I feel like this structure in particular, let's just talk about the massing. The massing of the structure, somebody's rustling. I can't hear myself talk.
There we go. Go ahead, Matt.
Thank you. So the massing of the structure, there's really only a small portion of the structure that has a 2nd floor on it. If we could go to the south elevation, you'll see that. I think when you look at the house in drawing, in terms of like footprint or floor plan, it basically looks like a long structure, but the truth is 2/3 of this building is basically 1 story. So I don't think that this is out of context. I actually don't think that the rear 2/3 of this building is really going to be visible. I know that, if board members say that it's visible, if you want to bring photographs and we can exchange them, I'm happy to do that. But this structure itself, I think that the rear 2/3 of it is a 1-story structure. The only 2-story portion is this main mass. That's number one. Number two is that this is not a second dwelling. So I don't know why that's been mentioned. This is not a second dwelling. This is its own structure. It's its own independent lot. It's actually located behind another lot. That's two. Three is that there are some bungalow style structures adjacent to the structure, but I don't think that dictates that this structure has to be bungalow style. I think that the board's consistent approvals or disapprovals is reflective of that. Like, just because there's a Victorian style house next door to you does not mean that the house that you're designing has to be Victorian. Again, I would just reiterate that the visibility of the structure and the design of it is basically, there's a small portion that's a 2-story structure. I'm happy to look at detail changes like you suggested, Ray. Corner boards, maybe going wider with the rakes themselves. I just feel like there's just some, it's like, this feels very personal, quite honestly, the feeling that this,
Matt, I honestly don't think that you should take it that way.
I know, I'm just trying to stick to the merits of the application. So I guess my point is, if we could just look at that supplemental drawing that we had provided, Kathy, I emailed it to her, and I think she pulled it up. If I could just get some feedback about the garage door style will definitely change. But in terms of additional comments about height, detail, we were planning to add these secondary elements that trying to make the house basically a bit more benign, if you will, with the front porch across the front and pent roof.
I'd open it up to the board, but I mean, I think that the response would be any detail that you can add to this very, very simple structure would be a good thing. Particularly if it's single story, like these two items that you're showing are.
Sure.
Anyone else?
Yeah. Now that I'm looking at, thank you, Mr. Chair. Now that I'm looking at what's on the screen versus what was uploaded, the B window on the east elevation on the garage, I think, is too large. And Matt, I want to assure you that I don't, it's not personal, certainly not personal for me. I don't think it's personal to anyone else on the board. I think what you're getting is just a general reaction to the initial size and along the north and the south elevations, the overall length. I think this is something like 84 or 94 feet long. So I think, that plays into it. And I want to be clear for the record because I think it's an important aspect. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
I think I have enough to go on, Mr. Chair, in the interest of not taking too much of your time.
Sorry. What did you say, Matt?
I was just going to say that I think I have enough material to work with, and in the interest of the agenda,
Okay.
Fair enough.
Thank you. All right. So I think that we can hold for some revisions on the house and I guess the garage too.
Can we speak to that? The garage? Just briefly?
Yeah.
I think it adds to the overall scale feeling on this tiny, tiny lot. I think that's working against you too, Matt. I think that garage, if it was at the back of the lot, which could block some of the house from Barnabas, would work in your favor. But right aside the house and connected with the breezeway, I think is also not helping.
Yeah, I mean, the pool is in that back corner, so.
I know, but
Yeah.
maybe some of it has to be rethought. It's an L shape or something. I don't know.
Sure.
Diane, anything further on the garage? So we can.
No, I think that it's important to bring it down to a size. I mean, I have no animosity to you, Matt. You know that. I have a feeling about this house strongly because, and the garage needs to be brought down to, it's a small, maybe a 2-car garage is too big for the area. It's very small and it's visible from both Barbaros and the front. So
would ridge poles be helpful?
Yep, that would be great. We would hold it for, I would hold it for revisions and a view.
Great
Ridge
idea.
poles and end to end.
Yes,
Be more specific. End to end, meaning a ridge pole at either end of the main gable.
And then a stake at the end of the 90 feet.
Oh, okay. Got that, Matt?
I do.
Yeah, if I may, Mr. Chair, Matt, if we're going to go out and view, I think it would be beneficial all the way around if you posted the 4 corners of the primary structure and did the ridge poles, one on each end, and then did 4 corners of the garage.
Okay.
I want
Chair.
to,
I'm not suggesting that it needs to be a survey drawing, but if you have an index point from a survey and you give us a pretty close approximation, I'm totally good with that. Thank you.
Okay.
Can I,
Mr. Chair, I also have HSAB comments very briefly for the garage.
Okay.
The garage should be sited behind the face of the building. This one is even with the front facade and should be pushed back as to be less prominent, which I believe has been mentioned previously. The plate height should be lowered further. The gable end window is out of scale for a garage, should be smaller, which Stephen notated. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. I know there's a letter, we all received a letter from a neighbor, but seeing as this is going to revisions plus height poles anyway, there's more time to take that letter up. So can I have a motion on both of these applications, please?
to hold for revisions on
And
the, and to put up poles? I don't know. I didn't quite understand Steve's request. I would like to see the poles go on where the new house is situated, not the old house.
Yes, that was my request, Diane. Just something that indicated the four corners of the building envelope, so we have an idea of where the structure would be.
right.
I got it. Stephen, I wrote your points down, and so I can submit that as part of the revision.
Okay, perfect. So that is Diane's motion. On Diane's motion, Stephen,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Okay, thanks,
Thank you
Matt.
very much.
Okay, on to new business. First thing up was something to carry over from Tuesday night, 3 Pleasant Street. We have a board, myself, Diane, Val, John, Abby, all the regular board.
I
Okay,
didn't
let's
see
go.
John up here again. Is John still here?
He was a minute ago.
I didn't see him just a second ago.
He's here.
Okay.
Yeah, he's there.
In case anybody didn't get by, this is the side that John said you could see it from. You can't, because what you're seeing back there, that little piece in the back on the right, just behind the L, that's
Mhm.
part of the sunroom, and that's elevated maybe 4 or 5 feet above where the shed is going to go, which is way down below and to the right of that big tree.
To the
so
right
it's
is a
not
tree.
visible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because the road elevation, the fronts of these houses and the road elevations, you can see how low everything goes right over the cliff in the back.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it's around the left side of the house. It's back there. There it is.
Okay.
So it's not visible.
Well
It's
documented.
small. It's just 108 square feet, and there you go.
Okay. All right, board members, do you want to see the elevations again?
I don't.
No, not me.
Okay. All right. So is everybody happy, that's satisfied that this will be invisible from Pleasant Street and other publicly traveled ways?
Yes.
Okay.
Chairman,
Yes, John.
I think I was on this. I had a comment.
You did, you are on this, John. Go ahead.
Okay. My comment on this one is I went up both streets and the viewability that I questioned. If you go down New Dollar Lane, it's very hard to see, but you can see the lower portion on this property. If you really look hard, you'll see the roof of it. That's all. But I wasn't wrong, and yet I just making a statement when I said I thought it could be viewed. Yeah, you got to try real hard between some bushes, over some tops of some bushes. So I make no comment any further. Thank you.
All right, John. Well, thanks for checking it out. It sounds like we might be ready to approve this. Am I correct?
Yeah, motion to approve.
All right. Okay, so thank you for that motion, Abby. On the motion, Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Val,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and Abby.
Aye.
And I'm in favor. Motion carries.
Thanks,
Very good.
guys.
Thank
Happy
you.
New Year.
Thanks, you too, Linda. Bye-bye. Okay, back to Matt at 32 North Liberty. And this again is new business, so it's the regular board unless somebody has a conflict, okay? In which case Stephen would be, I'm sure, happy to step in.
Very happy.
Okay.
I can start really quickly, Mr. Chair, if that works.
Please do.
Okay,
right.
so there's some minor fenestration changes. I'll probably start on A2.1. None of them are on the, well, actually the east elevation. You'll see that there's that bay on the east elevation on the left side, which is the bay that's an existing bay that we just want to add divided lights to. Right now it has 1/1s, I think, or single divided lights. We just thought that these 6/6s would be more appropriate. If you,
Hey, Matt.
yes.
So east elevation, it says no change.
Yeah, sorry, that's, I guess technically there's really.
All right, so what we should see is that the bay would be bubbled because you're saying they're 1/1s now. Okay, there it is. And you're going 6/6. Okay, great. Thank
When go to
you.
the South elevation, you'll see that I think they didn't cloud it because it was so minor.
It's fine. It's fine. Go ahead.
If you go down to the north elevation, we made a revision to the second floor dormers on the.
I see. You're going from 2 windows to 1 window.
Correct. And then shifted that window slightly, changed the size of it on that left side of that first floor north elevation, and then made just some minor fenestration changes, added outdoor shower to that mudroom entry. So you can see the comparative previously approved north elevation.
What was the change to the door, Matt?
I think it
Oh,
got.
it moved further over. That's all. It just moved about 8 inches closer to the corner. That's all.
Correct.
Yep.
So
Oh, okay.
if we switch to A2.2, again, the west elevation, which is the back of the building, really hard to see behind the fence. And then the south elevation, which is the bay, which is drawing 2 here. And again, if you look to the existing or the previously approved, you'll see that there were 1/1s. They actually had storms in them, and we do have some site photographs. We just thought that it would look better if they were divided lights. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Chair,
Yeah.
from HSAB and staff, 6/6 windows are appropriate, and the 12 light 1 panel door in the north is appropriate. No further concerns. I did not recommend to put this on consent because of this nature of this structure and the review that you all have had on it previously. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Board members? Regular board.
I'm fine with this
I,
on the north elevation, that the window that's been moved towards the corner seems a little pinched in there. Could we add a row of shingles and take it right off that corner? I think it
Good point.
might be better on the inside too.
I don't see why we couldn't do that.
Okay. Thank you. Diane, you want to go?
well, I just say I appreciate the changes. I appreciate the 6/6. I think that will be much better looking in the bay, and otherwise I have no problem.
Okay. Val?
I'm fine with it.
Okay. John?
No comment.
Okay, so it sounds like we can just make a one minor change, which would be to take that window on the north side that's squeezed right up against the corner board and just pull it back like 6 inches so that you've got a shingle space between the corner board and the window casing.
That's my motion, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Abby. On Abby's motion, Val,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
thank you, John,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. That motion carries. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Have a great new year, everybody. Thanks for all your hard work. I know everything you guys do, so thank you so
Appreciate it.
much.
Same to you. Okay. I believe I saw Mark Poor in the queue this time. It's because we have something at 8 Boulevard. Mark, are you there?
Here.
All right, great. How's it going?
Very well, thank you.
Good. On this last day of the worst year in recorded history. Okay. Okay, so this is, I have you down for a new second dwelling at Rafael Asona's place.
That's correct.
Okay, good. And it's up toward closer to Boulevard. Mhm. Heavily wooded lot, I will attest to that. All right. Huntington. How tall is it, Mark?
This structure is 28 feet tall.
Hmm.
I have a prepared statement that I'd like to read if you would consider it. Part of the initial reaction that you see from the photographs is that we put in height pole for the location, so it could be viewed from the boulevard and the bike path.
Now, so to be clear, this is a new application, so this is a height pole you put up at your own behest?
In advance of the meeting.
I'm sorry, what, Mark?
In advance of this meeting.
Okay, yep.
Unfortunately, it blew down about a week ago.
Well, you have a record of it there.
I do.
What's your prepared statement?
If I may,
Yeah.
I'll just start from the beginning. Members of the commission and staff, the application before you for a modular home, 2-story, single-family dwelling unit with the ridge height that exceeds the norm for second dwellings. The general purpose, as I see it in the guidelines, is to ensure that one of the 2 dwellings would appear subordinate in scale to the primary structure when generally viewed in context, parentheses, proximity to it. This is stapled to the front of all 4 sets of drawings, so you can read along with me if you'd like. In this instance, there is no context. We are saying there is no context to this because when you look at the location of the existing building, which is set as far back into the lot as possible, you look at the fact that the lot is in the LUG district, which requires a minimum of 80,000 square feet, and the lot area is 93,000 plus square feet. So in excess of 13,000 plus square feet. The shape of the lot, as I said, was long and narrow with 160 odd feet of frontage and 544 feet deep. Adjacent lots, when you reflect on this, are similar in shape and similar vegetated buffers that exist between neighboring lots. So it's a very, very secluded site. So we're looking at this, and the elephant in the room is the height of the building. I think we can all agree from that from the beginning. So it's really a matter to whether the commission can look at this and say, yes, there is no context to the primary dwelling. We can look at waiving the general context of the height restriction that is implied for secondary dwellings in favor of allowing the Asona family, which in their extended context is trying to share this property with their son and his wife. So that's the general nature of the beast. And in fact, that the building 24 by 32 feet or 768 square feet is very modest in scale. And obviously they don't want to sprawl this building out because they're on a very defined budget. And that's the other reason that they had approached the modular company to do a design for them, which is in fact what I'm representing in front of you now. It's a design that they came to me with and asked me if I would prepare documentation that would put this in front of the board and see how the board reacts.
Okay. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Okay, board members, and while we're discussing, we might want to move to the elevations. There we go. Yep, thanks. Who would care to begin?
I will.
All right, thanks, Val.
What are the colors, Mark?
The trim is all natural. The windows are on the application, I believe, are sand tone. And the front door is, I believe, black. The lower level of this building probably can't be seen from anywhere.
Nope, I just wanted to know the colors. I have no problem with this house in that area.
Okay. Thank you, Val. Diane? Diane, you may be muted. Let's check.
I don't think you'll see the north elevation because it faces sideways to the project and the driveway. Mark, how tall is it?
This house is 28 feet from average mean grade.
Okay. Well, other than I would like to see if there was any way to drop it. I'd see that it's digging a basement. I don't know. It's what, 3 feet over the supposed height limit, but design wise, I think it will be very hard to see. I know the area very well, and I'm surprised you can see any of it, but actually down as close as it is to the boulevard, you do see that, and it would be north. It would be the west side.
That is correct.
Yeah. So I would go along with it.
Okay. Thank you. Abby?
I think it's too tall. I'd like it to come down a couple of feet. Other than that, I don't have any problems with it.
May I address that? We
Go
just
ahead, Val.
approved Carl Lindvall's across the street at 29.6.
This is a second dwelling, right?
But you don't see the primary dwelling.
So what? I just, I don't think we should be going back and forth. That's my opinion, and
Yeah,
thank you.
fair enough. Thank you, Abby. How about you, John?
Yes, sir. What is the height of the building again?
28 feet?
28 feet. Yeah, I have one comment. Could the staff in the future, after this application, knock them up turn them up 2 notches? I cannot read any of the writing, the height and any of that stuff. It's real squash. I'd like to get it larger.
So, John?
Yeah, I have that with
John?
all applications.
Well, the only way that that's going to happen is if you ask to see something, have something enlarged the way Kathy just did here. Hey, go ahead, John. I have a question, but go ahead, John.
If what I just said doesn't help me read these things, there's no sense of for me to try to read them and ask every application, could you jack it up? Why don't you do them all so we can all see them? My computer is a small 17-inch one. It's hard to see, but jacking it up by the staff, it helps a lot if they could. Thank you.
Hey, John, I have a comment. My screen size is actually 13 inches.
What was that?
Yeah, so your screen is actually 4 inches larger than mine.
But you can look at these ahead of time and blow them up.
No, I'm kidding around. But so, John, listen, it's an imperfect medium. We're just going to have Kathy or Holly zoom in when we need to read dimensions. That's all. So, look, I would rather see this ridge height come down. I was going, Mark, to ask you what the first floor ceiling height is. My guess is it's probably 8 feet.
It's actually less than that, a little bit, because of the buildup between the first floor ceiling structure and the upper level boxes, which adds, 22 inches to the construct as opposed to 10 or 12 in normal construction, which is what's boosting this up more than a foot higher than it would be if it was conventionally
No,
framed.
I understand that, but I was asking what the first floor ceiling is, which I'm almost certain is going to be about.
It's very close to 8 feet. I think it's 7'10".
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so like Abby, I would like to see the ridge come down, but like Val and company, I think that it's viewed on its own. You cannot see the main house. I can attest to that. So I'm okay with this. Oh, and I also appreciate the fact that it's all natural trim in that context, because it will be visible from Boulevard, as your height pole showed. So can we have a motion of some kind?
I would motion to
Can I
approve.
just make one comment?
Yeah, you can make another comment. Yeah, sure.
All right, it's the front door is black
Yes.
from what Mark said, and I would not paint it black.
You
Mark,
can't-
you
It
okay?
catches your eye.
We're absolutely happy to select a color that's, well, first of all, you won't see it, but secondly, we certainly want to comply to any color that you want, whether it be a Quaker gray or a darker gray or a green.
Quaker gray or darker gray would be fine. I just think that it's black is sort of considered a lot of times as a more modern color for the trim. And I think it would be good not to have this on the front of
If
this
you-
building, if you could
Agree.
see it.
I would say cobblestone gray for
Yep,
content.
that would be great.
Okay, cobblestone gray it is on the front door. So that was it, Diane. Now, was somebody going to give me a motion on this?
I
I
would
would make a motion to approve
Okay,
through staff with the front door being gray, rather than
cobblestone
black.
gray he selected, yeah. Okay,
Cobblestone gray.
very good. So that's Diane's motion on Diane's motion. Val,
Aye.
Abby,
Nay.
nay, John.
Yes, thank you for the rise in the picture.
So you're in favor of the motion?
I can read this one, so thank you, I appreciate it.
Well, good. Are you in favor of the motion to approve?
Yes,
Okay, thanks. And Val, who made the motion? I forget.
Diane.
Diane, are you in favor of your motion?
Yep.
Okay, and Ray's in favor of your motion. So that motion carries 4 in favor, 1 opposed. Thank you, Mark Pooler. Happy
Thank you
New Year.
See you next year.
Yeah, see you next year. Hoping for a better next year. Okay, 6 Village Way.
Doesn't look like workshop is here.
You don't think they are?
I don't think they are. How do you see them?
Doesn't look like they're here.
Okay, then we shall move along.
Make a motion to hold for representation.
Thank you very much. That's on item number 4, 6 Village Way. Diane has made a motion to hold for representation. Val,
Aye.
thank you. Abby,
Aye.
John,
aye.
thank you. Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Motion carries. So now we move along to 103 Main Street, Atlantic. Lindsay, is he here?
I don't see him either.
Really?
No.
Okay. All right, I'll trust you. Can we have a motion to hold that one for representation?
So move.
Thank you, Diane. On Diane's motion to hold item number 5, Abby,
Aye.
Val,
Aye.
John. John,
Aye.
thank you. Diane,
Aye.
and I'm in favor of that motion carries. So now we are back to Nathan's project, 6 Elbow. We have an established board on this one. This one is myself, Diane, Val, John, and Abby. Okay? This was the parking spot one. Okay, let's see. Nathan, we want to check this one out, so I'm not sure there's anything else that you necessarily need to say.
Okay.
I had a question
Yeah.
for the applicant.
Go ahead.
Is the hedge moving into the yard to?
That's correct.
Could I see that site plan?
Hmm.
Stand by.
So I drove out there yesterday and spent a lot of time driving around in circles trying to
Ah,
figure this one out. It is a conundrum. Because
Yes.
the circulation there with the Sconset Market, the mail, the restaurant. There's even a little side street that cuts through, so there's a lot going on. I had thought maybe it's too bad the garage can't be used, and I kind of understand why you said that, to turn into it. But what about a parking alongside of the garage? You're saying that the new 24 feet wide by 60 high privet. So it goes in, how far does the privet get moved in?
Well, it's supposed to be 9 feet by zoning, and we're showing 8. So it's just to get the car to swing in, park, and swing out. And by the way, they could use and can use the garage, but it's not something that they want to use every day.
Because they're getting blocked in.
Yeah, she pointed out when I spoke with the owner yesterday that she gets blocked in by trucks, parking behind the market, etc.
Yeah.
And as you know, it's a very crowded area and a very narrow situation.
Hey, I need to interrupt because I just noticed something that I would like you to clarify for us, Nathan.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sort of to what Abby was just talking about, as in how far in that hedge goes. So right now I'm only seeing part of the site plan. If I could see the whole site plan, it'll be clearer what I'm saying. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
So there's your property line, literally runs right in front of the garage doors.
Right.
Okay. Now, if we look at the photographs, we see that there's actually like a space in front of the garage doors.
It's the road.
That's the road. There's really,
do you have a picture of the garage doors?
You just passed it. It's
that
the
was
one
it?
that looked.
So that shell stuff, that's the road?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
It is.
So then the hedge is on the property line.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So it would move back about 8 feet. Okay. Thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it. Okay. So let's see, Abby.
Yeah. So my point was, what about snuggling up the car right next to just to the left of the garage? Is there space for it there? I can't tell. Is that?
Well, no, that's possible, but you're going to get close to that second dwelling. That's kind of where Chip Hart showed it in 1998.
They have that plan.
And you have that plan. So what we are doing is really, it was never implemented. So what we would like to do is just move that curb cut down to the east and widen it, obviously.
You're saying this would get a curb cut around there? I can't read that writing, but is that a curb cut?
Well, technically, yes, it would be a curb cut for the two spaces. Right now, there is no curb cut except at the garage.
I'm assuming that you're going to have a rounded, more apron that it's hard to get a car.
You're correct. It'd probably be rounded to get in and out. Yes.
Oh, there it is. There's your dimension, 8 feet. I see it now. Okay. Yeah, no, I now seeing the site plan, I don't have a better idea than what you've come up with. I mean, maybe just making it one large one might save a little more greenery on that little street, but
Yes, yes, one large one would be just what it would be. Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
Those are my comments. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks. Let's see. Thanks, Abby. Val.
You know, I can't remember what HSAB had to say about it.
Wisconsin.
Pretty much conundrum, you know, they just said, we sympathize.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, if
Yeah.
you'd like, I can reiterate those comments for Val.
Well, why don't you?
So it's unusual, and it's typically parking is on the street. It would change the character of the street with having cars on both sides. There was a recommendation of having the parking spaces perpendicular with the road, kind of like the way Mr. Hart had originally drawn, but made more of a perpendicular. I, from a staff's perspective, really raised concerns on this proposal meeting the zoning bylaw. I think there's going to be a special permit required from the planning board, not necessarily for what's existing and proposed, but the fact that the parking spaces don't seem to meet the size criteria, as well as I'm not too sure if an apron is going to be required or not, depending on what the construction of that road is. So I know that it's a chicken or the egg conversation, and you guys are only purviewed for obviously aesthetics with the HDC, but may be beneficial for them to go through the planning board.
That was my concern, because I see this as a real anomaly all the way around, and I think probably they got second dwelling approval because they counted the space in the garage. So
yes.
I could add something.
Well, let's make sure. So Val, have you?
I don't know that I have a strong feeling one way or the other, but I think we're wasting a lot of time on something that may or may not happen. So I think we should just wait.
Right. Okay. Thanks. Diane.
I think to try and get 2 cars in there, unless you have 2 Mini Coopers, you'd be spending your time if both cars pull in and you have to get out, and some truck or car is just around the outside of that. It's not going to work. It's not, I believe, having had to deliver to the post office many times, it's just jamming it up more. And the garage, I guess, is the only thing. Those lots are only 16 feet long, and it doesn't say how wide they are.
8 feet.
But 8 feet wide, that's right. So if you have a car of a size, it's going to be super difficult to park it in there and get it all in and not have something hang out to be hit. I think it needs to be considered more, perhaps, I don't know, with it cut off to show the size of a car, of their car or something, so we could see whether 2 could fit in there and keep off the street and not get hit.
Okay. Thank you, Diane. John.
Yes, sir. Since the last meeting, I was out there and I viewed this again, and the problem where it says car 1 and car 2, just to the right of that, is that public property?
Yes.
Okay, is that the elbow lane going down?
It is.
Right there? Okay. Go back to that back one, please. Go back to one more. There. Here on where the gate is, all right? It's possible if they decide they want to use that for a parking spot, all right, they're going to lose a beautiful tree. But anyway, up on the right, on the other side of the house, some of that bushes have to come down if you want to have a parking area. So something's got to give on one side or the other of that house for them to have parking. And somebody mentioned in the last meeting that they might get hit backing out if they were facing in. All you got to do is every time you park your car, back it in, and you can see your way out. So that's my only comment there. But you can fit a car here, I believe. You only need 8 feet, and I think that's 8.5 feet. Anyway, I would suggest pick one or the other where you're going to put the cars, on the left side or both sides. You can do it either way. Thank you.
No, you can't do it both sides.
Well, so I actually don't, I agree that trying to get 2 cars in those places is going to be all but impossible. So maybe it's just a large single space.
Why don't, I'm sorry to interrupt, Matt,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, go ahead.
Perhaps we could just compromise, and instead of having 2 spaces, make it 1 that's slightly narrower, and I can show curb cuts rounded.
Are you opposed to putting it to the left of the garage, just 1 spot?
Yeah, yes, she is.
Okay.
Okay, so should we hold this for revisions?
Sure. Motion to hold for revisions.
Okay, thank you. Abby.
Thank you.
On
And
Abby's motion,
With 1
Diane,
spot, you don't have to go to the planning board.
what?
With one, if you're asking for 1 spot, you don't have to go to the planning board. Makes it easy.
Okay.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah, you do if it's parallel, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yes.
on Abby's motion, Diane,
Aye.
thank you. Val,
Hi.
John,
I
and Abby,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. Thank you. And now let's move over to Nickanoose. Second dwelling, same board. We're running out of time. Oh, yeah.
So, Mr. Chair, through you, this was held for review as well.
Right.
Can we see the site plan?
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Zoom in.
No, it's not. That's
Is that okay?
there it is.
Can everybody see that? Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay.
Curve.
So this was a viewing. Does anybody want to start?
I will.
Go ahead, John.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, looking at the plot plan, I went down Nickanoose walk, and I don't think you're gonna see anything other than the left side, seeing way back where them 4 little squares are behind it. You might see something there, but there's no problem with it with me. Thank you.
Okay. Well, when John says something's not visible, we can pretty much know that it's not visible. Thank you very much, John. So, anyone else?
I was just gonna ask if they could get rid of the transoms, but I agree with John. I went there today and I don't think you're gonna see it
Which transoms?
over all 4 of the doors.
Val, I'll ask if they would get rid of the transom.
Oh,
You might not have to if everyone
yeah,
agrees.
well, let's see how it goes.
But I'm just saying.
Yeah. Okay. So that was it, Val?
Yeah,
Okay. Abby?
Yeah, I'm okay with this. Thanks.
Okay. Diane?
Yeah, it's on. Okay.
Try to keep the tree.
Well, the tree we have established is going not as a result of this, but of the porch that's going on the main house.
Correct.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
going to cut down that tree?
It'll be at least,
Can I ask?
it will be at least thinned out.
But it has really nothing
Have
to do
you-
with this application. It has to do with the main house stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
The porch, as you said. Yes.
It has to do with me.
Well, yeah. But so it sounds like there's consensus that we can vote this through based on lack of visibility. Can somebody give me a motion?
Motion to approve due to lack of visibility.
Okay, very good. Thank you for that, Val. On that motion, John.
Aye.
Thank you. Diane.
Aye.
Thank you, Abby.
Aye.
Val.
Aye.
And I'm in favor of that motion. Carries. Thank you, Nathan.
Happy New Year, HDC.
Thank you, too.
Mr. Chair, can I take the next one off? I have to go chase a woodpecker off the side of my house.
Yeah, sure. That's an
Thank
emergency.
you.
Stephen's still here. So Stephen, if you could jump in, that would be great.
This time of year, man.
And do we have Brooke?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Screen share?
Mhm.
May I share my screen?
Yeah.
All right.
Brooke, are they different plans?
No, they're not different plans. It's just,
Okay,
all right.
okay.
Someone's not letting me.
What?
It's me. I'm not used to doing this. Hang on.
Okay.
Can you do it now?
All right.
Oh, good.
All right. We good?
Yeah.
All right. So this is Allen's Way. This is at the very end of Allen's Way. I'm going to walk through these photos rather quickly because I know you've probably seen them, but it's just a reminder. So this is at the beginning of Allen's Way. Hang on a second here. And the property is in between 20 Allens Way and 25 Allens Way. This is the site. This is the main house. What's behind this area is this very large, the very large lot. This is the front facing Ellen's Way. And this is the back facing the very large lot. Please let me know which photos you'd like to see or pictures. Or drawings. And that's it.
Okay.
Brooke, is the south, no. What's the one with all the windows? Does that face the pond, the north elevation?
That's the north elevation, and that faces this very large lot.
Okay, not the pond, right?
Definitely not the pond. The pond is over here. And that's
Yeah. No,
it's
but I just
not even
meant for
close.
what I was thinking.
When you say the very large lot, who owns that very large lot?
That's owned by Bluefin Partners. It's the people that did the subdivision.
Oh, is this like a cluster subdivision?
Ellen's Way is a cluster subdivision, yes.
So then that would be open space.
It is open space, yes.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Diane, continue.
No, I just wondered what was facing the pond. I knew it wasn't right at the pond. I just wanted to know which elevation faces my comet pond the best. That's all. I just wanted to place it in my mind at the end of Ellen's Way.
Oh, okay. So that would be the west elevation would be probably most directly facing the pond, but again, it's probably a couple thousand feet to the pond from this
Yeah,
house.
I know that,
Okay,
I just wanted to put the house up on the lot.
understood.
Anything else, Diane?
No, that was it. I just wanted to get it right.
Okay. Let's see, Val? Oh, Val's
Chase the
chasing the
woodpecker.
woodpecker. I'm sorry, Abby.
Well, just to be as a little picayune of me, but on the south elevation, you see this on the far right, that looks cramped with that huge shed dormer. Can you pull that off? Or reduce that a little bit? See how it's right up, appears to be right up against that roof line.
It is.
It is, but it's stepped back.
Uh-huh.
You can see that in the east elevation.
And there's another, yeah, so also, so that is south, and can I see the so the east is that, I don't know. Sometimes it just looks like you're cramming like a little
It's
more
a small
space.
cottage.
Yeah, but this is just part of your design. It just, I think.
Trying to find, yeah, I could make that dormer on the south elevation narrower by 6 inches on each side, I think.
That would be great.
Yeah, I think so. And then south, east, can we see north and west? North and west. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. John? John?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Go on. Let her have it.
Go ahead, John.
How far is it from the west side from the pond,
Oh,
Mr. Mergen?
yeah.
Okay, so see the red
Yep.
hatch mark? It's probably
Thousands of feet.
a couple thousand feet,
Yeah,
a quarter mile anyway.
yeah.
All right, thank you, thank you.
Okay. Thanks, John. Stephen?
Thanks, Mr. Chair. No concerns. No concerns.
So it sounds like the only thing that we really want to be doing here is on the south elevation, Brooke has offered to reduce the width of that dormer by a total of a foot, 6 inches on either side. So Abby, that was at your request. Would you like to make a motion to that effect?
Yes, that's my motion.
Okay, so Abby is motioning to approve through staff with the reduction of the dormer on the right-hand side of the south elevation being reduced by 6 inches on either side. On that motion, Diane? Diane? Let's see, let's go to Stephen.
Yes.
Okay, John?
Aye.
Thank you. Diane?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Abby?
Aye.
And I'm in favor, so that motion carries. Okay, Brooke. Okay, so that was the dwelling. Now we have a studio.
We have the studio.
We'll do the same board, obviously.
Yep. So here's the studio. This is what faces Ellen's Way.
Mhm.
And as you go around to the right, this is what faces the public way, which I'll show you on the site plan right now. That's the public way. So that's the east elevation that faces that way. This faces the open space, and this faces the house. That's this side right here, looking to the west.
Okay.
And again, there's a built property here. I mean, this is all built, so it's pretty well enclosed at this point visually.
Okay.
And I have a perspective drawing too, so just so you can see the relative size. The studio is on a different plane. It's definitely behind the cottage, even though it looks like it's on the same plane because of my line weights.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone care to begin on this one?
I'm okay with it.
All right, Abby's okay with it. Diane?
What is the height?
22 and a half feet.
22 and a half.
Great, thank you. It's architecturally very positive.
Great, thanks. Stephen?
No concerns, Mr. Chair.
Okay, John?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
According to what I saw on the west elevation, it has the four, so I guess the sliders, you know. I find that there's no visibility here. So I would make a motion to approve it as is.
Oh, okay. Well, I think that motion will carry. Watch this, John. So on John's motion, Stephen,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
John,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. That motion carries. How about the pool?
All right. So I think it's fairly self-explanatory what it is, where it is, and how big it is. Here's a shot. Here's the other look at it from the north elevation.
Okay.
I can go, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, go ahead, Abby. Sorry.
Looking at it with the site view right there, it looks a little large for the lot. If you could take, 5 feet off that, I think, you don't want to splash the neighbors.
But how about if we make it an even 16 by 30?
Wow, you just took 4 feet off for Abby. That's pretty
I
good.
did, because she's so awesome.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Well, I want to hear what other people have to say.
Okay. Well, but he's already conceded the 4 feet. Can't get much better than that. Okay, so Diane.
I think with the reduction of the size of the pool, it will be good. And the little house will face towards it. I think it will be approvable.
Okay, thanks. Stephen.
Yeah, I think, Brooke, if you were to take that dimension, how much were you going to reduce it?
4 feet.
Multiply that by 1 and I'll pass it.
What is that? That's the same.
Yes, it is. Just testing.
Nice.
Abby.
Nice. Math.
Thank you, Stephen.
Really smart.
I'm still trying to do the math on that, but John. John, any comments, questions on the pool?
With this one here,
Yep.
motion to approve as submitted.
Okay. We actually got rid of 4 feet. It's going from 34 feet in length to 30, if that could be your motion, John.
Got a spa.
You okay with that, John?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Well, so Brooke has volunteered to make the pool 30 feet long instead of 34. Is that okay with you in your motion?
Yes.
Okay, so John has moved to approve this with a reduction in length from 34 to 30 feet on the pool. On that motion, Diane?
Aye.
Thank you. Abby?
Aye.
Stephen?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I'm in favor. That motion carries. That's it for you, Brooke.
Thank you so much. Happy New Year.
Nice job. You too.
Good New Year.
Okay, so let's see. We got 5 minutes. Should we try and, I see we have a stack of 4 ochre wall. Probably too much to get into that one. Wow. What do you guys want to do?
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New
Wanna
Year.
call it quits? Okay, hey, so.
Yeah,
boy,
do 3 Pleasant Street.
Marty, as much as I would like to do that, we would be skipping over your eyes application, which would be unfair to him. So this is all going to reconvene anyway on Monday, correct, Kathy?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we did all right. We knocked off a few. Happy New Year, anything on other business before we adjourn?
Nope.
Okay, so we can I have a motion for adjourn? Thank you, everyone. And,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
everyone.
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, so Stephen has made a motion to adjourn. On that motion, how about John?
What was the motion, please?
Motion is to adjourn for the last time in 2020.
Time for eggnog.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Abby's house, 4:30.
Oh, I gotta post a meeting. Hang on.
Wait, I need a gavel. Abby, are you in favor of Stephen's motion?
I surely am.
Okay. Val,
That
are you-
4:30 motion or the adjournment?
The adjournment.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Chair.
So, Val,
Aye.
Diane,
Aye, for sure.
okay, let's see, Stephen,
Aye.
and I'm in favor. I think that covers it.
Mr.
Thanks,
Chair,
everybody. Thanks a lot for getting together on a Thursday, the last day of the year.
Yes.
Happy New Year, everyone. And we'll
Thank
see
you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Happy New Year to you.
Happy-
And Lisa.
Bye.
you, Diane.
Happy New Year.